possible?
Take a look at this knife. It's a very unusual knife. I've never seen one like it. Neither had the storekeeper who sold it to the boy. Aren't you asking us to accept a pretty incredible coincidence?
I'm just saying a coincidence is possible.
And I say it's not possible.
Where did that come from?
Friends, this cramped, sweaty room you see on screen hosted one of the greatest psychological battles in cinematic history. One room, 96 minutes, 12 men. One voice says not guilty, 11 shout guilty. But how can a young man's life be saved by simply planting seeds of doubt? How do pressure, prejudice, and pride poison the pursuit of justice? This is Scene Atlas, and today we're stepping inside the claustrophobic genius of 12 Angry Men, 1957, directed by Sidney Lumet. We'll explore his camera language, his moral tension, and how each juror embodies a distinct sociological archetype. Even if you've seen this film a dozen times, you'll notice things you've never seen before. Subtle lighting tricks, deliberate lens choices, and performances that unravel the human condition under pressure. So if you crave cinematic analysis with psychological depth, go ahead, like this video, subscribe, and join our growing community, because now the doors are locking, the air's heating up, and we have to reach a verdict. 12 Angry Men is built upon a deceptively simple premise. An 18-year-old boy of Latin descent accused of murdering his father. The verdict? It must be unanimous. But what makes this film timeless isn't the case itself, or even the evidence. It's the way space becomes a character all its own. Sidney Lumet, alongside cinematographer Boris Kaufman, broke every conventional Hollywood rule to breathe life into this courtroom drama. They transformed one jury room into a prison, a laboratory, and an arena, a battleground for truth and ego. At first, the room feels open, almost comfortable. The lenses are wide, the angles expansive, but as the air thickens and tempers ignite, Lumet begins to tighten his grip. The lenses grow longer, the shots more confined, until the jurors seem to press against each other, trapped by their own convictions. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, the walls close in. You can feel the claustrophobia building, frame by frame. The room itself becomes the antagonist. The broken fan, the oppressive heat, the rain that teases mercy, only to vanish again. Each detail adds weight, shaping a pressure cooker that strips away civility and leaves nothing but raw human emotion. This isn't just a set, it's the 13th juror, silent, relentless, and impossibly honest. These 12 men don't even have names, only numbers. And that was Sidney Lumet's deliberate choice. They aren't just jurors, they're symbols, embodiments of social class, moral conflict, and the psychological patterns that shape modern society. Juror number 3, authority and control. A man haunted by failure as a father pouring his anger into the case. For him, justice isn't blind, it's personal. I think he's guilty, he shouts, but what he's really saying is, I can't forgive my own son. Juror number 10, overt prejudice and fanaticism. His venom isn't about facts, it's about fear. His bias, laid bare for all to see, poisons every word. And when the others turn their backs on him, it's one of cinema's most powerful moral reckonings. A visual rejection of hate itself. Juror number 7, apathetic irresponsibility. The man who just wants to make it to his baseball game. Justice to him is an inconvenience, something to hurry through. His indifference mirrors a disease we still face today, the casual shrug toward truth. Juror number 8, Socratic doubt and quiet humanity. Calm, rational, the lone voice who dares to stand against the tide. He isn't a hero. He's a citizen aware of his duty, guided by the fragile yet sacred idea of reasonable doubt. And right here, I want to pause. Ask you, which of these 12 men are you? Comment below, and don't forget to subscribe so this story can reach more Scene Atlas viewers. Because that's the timeless genius of 12 Angry Men. In that crowded, stifling room, we see reflections of ourselves. Lumet accelerates the film's rhythm not through editing alone, but through cinematography itself. It's a masterstroke so precise, it's now taught in film schools around the world. Let's start with the shift in lens size. In the early scenes, the camera behaves like a quiet observer, watching juror number 8 from a comfortable distance. The room feels open, breathable, but as the discussion intensifies and the tension builds, Lumet's lenses grow longer. Telephoto. These lenses compress the space, flattening depth and forcing the jurors closer together in the viewer's eye. You can feel the air closing in. The frame becomes a vice. Then comes the descent of angles. In the final act, especially as jurors 3 and 10 begin to unravel, Lumet lowers the camera itself. The shots look up from the floor, warping faces against the ceiling, bending the perspective until the men appear both trapped and monstrous. These low angles become a psychological mirror, revealing what dialogue can't. And by the end, the camera is almost on the ground. The ceiling, barely visible at the start, now looms over every shot. It's more than a visual choice. It's the emotional ceiling of the film, the weight of judgment pressing down. This is how 12 Angry Men turns a single room into a living organism, one that breathes, tightens, and suffocates alongside its characters. A true masterclass in visual storytelling. One of the most fascinating aspects of 12 Angry Men lies in how juror number 8 redefines the meaning of reasonable doubt. He never insists the defendant is innocent. He only insists there is doubt about his guilt. And that distinction changes everything. With that single shift, the debate transforms from accusation to examination, from emotion to logic, from shouting to thinking. The knife. The moment he pulls it from his pocket is pure cinematic electricity. It's not just evidence, it's a shockwave. In one motion, he shatters the illusion of certainty. The knife proves the crime scene wasn't unique, that evidence can lie when we stop asking questions. That's the first fracture in the jury's collective mind, the point when doubt becomes contagious. Then come the witnesses, the old man downstairs, the woman across the street. Through quiet, logical questioning, juror number 8 dismantles both accounts. The old man couldn't have moved that quickly. The woman couldn't have seen clearly without her glasses. These aren't twists, they're revelations about the power of paying attention. By the end, Lumet doesn't hand us a shocking verdict. He hands us a lesson. How the truth hides in the mundane details we ignore. Juror number 8 doesn't play the hero. He becomes the catalyst that forces everyone else to think. If you found this breakdown valuable, if you appreciate Lumet's quiet brilliance, share this video, like it, and help more film lovers discover the anatomy of cinematic reasoning. As we reach the final minutes of 12 Angry Men, the jury room has transformed, physically and psychologically. What began as 11 votes for guilty and 1 for not guilty has now reversed. 11 stand for doubt, 1 stands alone for his own pain. The last confrontation unfolds between juror number 3 and juror number 8. But by now, juror 3 isn't arguing facts, he's wrestling with himself. Every word, every glare is a battle against the ghost of his own failure. When he finally breaks, whispering not guilty through tears, it isn't a triumph of law, it's a triumph of humanity. The scene feels like a confession, a man finally releasing years of anger in front of 12 silent witnesses. As he crumples his jacket and strikes the table, Lumet turns that gesture into symbolism, his last act of resistance cast aside. Then, rain. Cleansing, cool, redemptive. It washes away the sweat, the heat, the prejudice that's lingered in the air. For the first time, we hear their names, Davis and McCardle, 2 men leaving the room not as opponents, but as equals, humbled by truth. This film isn't merely about a verdict, it's a meditation on democracy itself. 12 Angry Men reminds us that real justice lives in the courage to doubt, to question, and to stand alone if necessary, against the tide. At Scene Atlas, we believe cinema doesn't just tell stories. It teaches us how to be better citizens. If you enjoyed this journey through Lumet's masterpiece, like this video, share it, and subscribe to Scene Atlas. Until next time, may your cinematic light never fade.